All right, picture this. You're knee deep in a massive code base, racing against a deadline, and your AI coding assistant suddenly hits a wall. Either it flakes out on complex tasks or burns through your budget like it's trying to fund a space program. What if the tools you rely on every day could actually handle real world dev chaos without constant babysitting? Or worse, what if picking the wrong one means wasting hours fixing its mistakes instead of shipping features? So we've tested both Claude Code and Cursor head to head, and I'm seeing one pull away in ways that could totally change how you code. So hang in there with us as I break down the battle. And again, this is just my take on it. I'm not saying anything conclusive. So as always, I'd love to hear your guys' response to this. So make sure you leave a comment down below. But I'm going to give you my take on these two tools today and go head to head with Claude Code versus Cursor. Let's dive into this today. So this Dev AI showdown between Claude Code and Cursor, it isn't just hype. It's about tools that either boost your productivity or leave you debugging their output for hours. So I've put both through the ringer, drawing from my time as a software developer, building everything from startups to enterprise systems. And the difference hits hard on speed, smarts, and staying power. Now, again, drop a comment down below on which one you're using because I'd love to get a vote on this. But it's absolutely my favorite part of these videos is to read your comments, and it's the best compliment I can give. So make sure you give me those comments down below. Now, Claude Sonnet 4.5, powering Claude Code, keeps chugging through tasks for over 30 hours straight without losing steam. Now, Cursor shines in quick edits, but starts to stumble on marathon projects, at least from my experience, where it needs deep context. So I've seen Claude handle full stack apps with like 11,000 lines of code, while Cursor feels more like a sprinter for daily tweaks. That endurance means fewer interruptions while you're refactoring big code bases overnight. Now, Cursor's interface is slick for VS Code users, but Claude's memory tools prevent forgetting key details across sessions. So let's jump into some of the release notes here and talk about this because we know that Claude Sonnet recently just released 4.5, right? And they're touting it as the best coding model in the world. Now, they're not the only ones saying that, and I'm going to go ahead and back that up with some other reviews here too. Say code is everywhere, it runs applications, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's jump into this, right? So very first thing is it says, for software engineering bench, they show that they're 4.5 is one of the highest scores here, right? Now, next, they're also going through and showing how Sonnet benchmarks almost entirely, almost every one of these benchmarks. See, there's a couple that they're down on, but most they're right on top with. Now, they also start talking about the finance, and I'm not going to go through all of these with you here because I want to talk more about, I'm not just going to read you their list here. But really, let me see here, the part I was looking for specifically. But they recommend Claude upgrading to Claude Sonnet 4.5 for all users, whether you're using Claude through your apps, API, or Claude Code. Sonnet 4.5 is a drop-in replacement that provides. Now, this is one of the things that's really different than OpenAI, which really broke a lot of their previous models. So, they're saying, hey, this is a drop-in replacement, right? And that's a big one here. Now, this is their guide for building agents, and we're going to talk a little bit about this too. We're going to keep going through here for some of the full specs. Now, Claude fires off multiple tools calls at once, like grabbing files and hitting APIs without waiting in line. Cursor integrates well with your editor, but lacks that parallel punch for complex ops. So in my test, Claude coordinated searches and code writes seamlessly, cutting down on the back and forth. Cursor's strength is editor-specific tricks, but it can feel sequential when things get hairy. Claude's updates after each call keeps token counts in check, avoiding coherence drops. So for devs like us chasing efficiency, this makes Claude a beast for multi-step workflows. Now, Claude's context editing prunes old data automatically, keeping sessions lean at 200,000 tokens. Cursor relies on your editor setup, which can bloat up fast without built-in cleanup. So I've used Claude to persist architecture choices across files without re-explaining everything. Cursor is great for in-file focus, but drops the ball on long-term state. So Claude's beta memory tools store info externally like a dev notebook that never forgets. Now, this can save you hours of this setup can save hours on recent projects that you're working on. So, we can definitely talk about the agent SDK, right? Which this allows us to dive into how you're, create some of the new agents that they're building here. So let's talk about some of these new agents, right? Creating new types of agents. We believe giving Claude a computer unlocks the ability to build agents that are not as effective as before. For example, our SDK developers can build financial agents, personal assistant agents, customer support agents, deep research agents. Now, and so much more. At its core, the SDK gives you the primitives to build agents for whatever workflow you're trying to automate. And this is stuff that you just simply wouldn't want to put up into the cloud. So this gives you the ability to take these and then build them down on your local machine. And their steps here, so in Claude Code, Claude often operates in specific feedback loops: gather context, take action, verify, work, repeat. Now, this verify work is really important because you can't just outright trust agents. We're not at that level yet. You always need to make sure that you build in a human in the loop. If you're not, you're going to be sorely upset with this. Now, Claude nails 82% on SWE benchmark verified, solving actual GitHub issues with human checked accuracy. Cursor performs solidly on coding benchmarks, but trails in bug fixing realism. So, drawing on my years of experience from enterprise messes, Claude's score reflects practical debugging skills. So tests show that Claude outperforms GPT variants here and makes it reliable for production code. Now, Claude scores low on misalignment at 13%, dodging deception or wild outputs better than competitors. Cursor sometimes hallucinates incompletions, and this needing more manual checks. Claude's control makes it safer for business critical code without constant oversight. So overall, Claude feels more like a trusted pair programmer. But I've laughed off Cursor's occasional weird suggestions, but Claude keeps things straight-laced a lot of times. Now, if your company has systems that need to be connected, make sure you reach out to us, because here at Startup Hack, our specialty is connecting systems to help your company work to maximum efficiency. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer if we can help you out. Now, Claude sticks to $3 per input, $15 per output per million tokens, with tiers for big context and affordable. Cursor's subscription model ties into your ID but can add up with heavy use. Claude's prompt caching slashes costs on repeats, perfect for iterative development. Now, Cursor offers value in its 1.7 update features, like better refactoring. So let's kind of take a look at some of their change logs and kind of look over what they changed in 1.7 here. Now, we can see that some of these are browser controls, plan mode, and hooks, right? So now they have a plan mode where you can sit down and do a planning. They have autocomplete for agents, right, which is interesting as well. They also provide hooks, and this is in beta, but you can now observe, control, and extend the agent loop using a custom hooks. Hooks give a way to customize and influence agent behavior at runtime. Use hooks to audit agent usage, block commands, or redact secrets from context. It's still in beta, and we'd love to hear your feedback. So they go over to a lot of the other features that they have with this, but those were really the big ones here. Now, continuing on here, so from pricing standpoint, in my experience, Claude's efficiency means less spend on fixes later. Now, Claude hits 61% on OS World, recovering smoothly from execution slips in browsers or desktop. Cursor excels in code generation, but less so in full system interactions. Claude's skills means that it pushes through failures without much handholding. Cursor's editor focus makes it great for local tweaks, but Claude handles broader environments. So I've used Claude for overnight runs that Cursor would need restarts for. Now, the SDK is really interesting, and I've been playing with it a lot. So far, I've still found that it needs a lot of hand-holding. So to me, like it's still got some work, but we're getting there. This is getting pretty interesting. Now, Claude boosts finance reasoning to 70% win rates with extended thinking time. Now, again, because you're talking about finance and 72%, you still want to keep these things in check. You got to make sure the human check is in the loop. But Cursor handles general code well, but lacks that domain depth, right? If you want to hand it the whole thing, Cursor is going to struggle a bit. So in tests, Claude outpaces even Opus models here, consistent for complex calculations. Now, Cursor's updates improve math, but Claude feels tailored for pro use. Now, I want to go over some of this here because this is actually a review not only just by me, but this is actually by Simon Willison, who's one of the best reviewers out there. So if you don't follow him, you should definitely follow him. But he said Anthropic releases Claude Sonnet 4.5 today with a very bold set of claims, saying that it's the best coding model in the world. And he said Anthropic gave access to a preview version of a new model over the weekend, which turned out to be Sonnet 4.5. My initial impressions were that they felt like it made a better code than GPT-5 Codex, which has been my preferred coding model since it launched a few weeks ago. So he's not the only one here, and he says it really shines with Claude AI Code Interpreter. He goes on to talk about some of these pieces here. So database scheme enhancement, talks about some of this, comprehensive utility mode, complete test suite, integration verification. And he says, hey, the key features are multiple branches from any conversion point, multiple routes per conversion, rich analysis. So he says on an update here, I shared a longer version of this experiment where I had the model experiment with a complex model. I've pushed code to branch, which is best explained by this, but he goes on to talk about this longer version here, right? And so looks like that might be gone now. So, this is an interesting thing. And in his very end here, he's like, the release of this model is very well coordinated. My embargo on talking about it due to Lyft at TAM, got an email from them, their post, that he could go ahead and talk about it. Anthropic also shipped a new Claude Code versus Code extension today, our VS Code extension, plus a big upgrade to the Claude Code terminal. Plus, they rebranded their confusingly named Claude Code SDK to the Claude Agent SDK instead, emphasizes a tool for building agents beyond just customizing the existing Claude Code project. So far right now, Claude Code seems to be really the one winning this match right now. There are limits that hit and workarounds in heavy use. Claude users on Max plans still hit rate limits during intense sessions, pushing some to alternatives. Cursor avoids this with local first processing, but lacks Claude's raw intelligence. So in my setups, mixing both seem to cover the bases for it, but you've got to be kind of careful because sometimes they can really hit each other and start to bump up against each other. Now, Anthropic's predictions for Claude often overpromise, but Sonnet 4.5 seems to be pretty good, right? It seems to be delivering quite well. Cursor's update focuses on practical dev wins without the fanfare. So Cursor avoids overclaiming, sticking to their editor enhancements. Claude's real value is in sustained work, not just benchmarks. Both tools are evolving very fast, but still temper your expectations, right? Because ultimately, we're still working with something that needs a lot of human supervision. Claude's advancements in reasoning and tool position it for a lot of good agentic coding in the future. Cursor's rapid iteration keeps it nimble for current needs. So blending them could be the sweet spot, but you've got to make sure you know what you're doing if you're going to take this on, because sometimes the two can work against each other and run up a bill. Cursor handles quick wins, Claude with the heavy lifts. So in my work here, we work on teaching people to adapt for both versatility. So pick a project that's based on what you're looking for. If you're doing a quick sprint, Cursor may be your best choice. If you've got a big, huge old code base with a lot of legacy code in it, then Claude may be the epic win here. Now, again, I'm curious to hear what you guys are finding on this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your guys' thoughts? Make sure you leave your comments down below and make sure you like and subscribe. Here at Starter Pack, we love to train software developers as well as build custom software solutions for companies. So reach out if we can help, and here's some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment, perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startupack.com/Spencer.